Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson.
Here.
Mayor Dardis.
Here.
Mr. Mahoney.
Here.
Mr. Breitling.
Here.
Mr. Hendrickson. Mr. Pepcorn. Mr. Ebinger.
Here.
Ms. Kolpak.
Here.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Capitan.
Here.
Mr. Grimberg.
Here.
Mr. Steen.
Here.
And Ms. Morgan.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 26th meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the order of the agenda?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Consent agenda. You have it in front of you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
And
Second.
is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Breitling.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes.
Mr. Ebinger.
Yes.
Ms. Kolpak.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Capitan.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
And Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
And that is everyone.
Thank you. Executive Director update, Jason.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair and board members. It's been a busy last month. First, I'll start off with the Minnesota legislative update. Last week, I spent a few days in St. Paul at the Capitol. I was able to testify at the Senate Capital Investments Committee. Senator Pappas had asked several questions, and she hit me up on some kind of questions on the level of flood threat, and I explained how the last 30 years have been, 7 of our top 10 floods have happened in the last 30 years. So the flood threat is not going away. It's been getting stronger in the last 30 years here. We also spent a number of meetings. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, Kale, who is there, Lisa Bodie from the city of Moorhead, Clay County. We had 2 different commissioners. Commissioner Mojo was there for one day, and then Commissioner Paula Kravinoff was there as well. So thank them for their support in being down there. We were able to talk to a number of House and Senate members and even some members on the Capital Investment Committee meeting. So with that, later on in the meeting, I will be talking about a resolution to support some matching funding for getting Minnesota bonding bill money. Right now, they're still in the discussions on the bonding bill and where they're going to go. Is it going to be $600 to $800 million? Is it going to be $1 billion to maybe $1.2 billion? Those are some numbers depending on who you talk to in the House, who you talk to in the Senate. I think there's going to be some more discussions coming out of the legislature in the next week, but we only have, after this week, there's only 4 more weeks left in the session, so things are definitely going to start picking up regarding the bonding bill. Next, the turnover of the DIS and Wild Rice River structures. So we've been working with the Corps of Engineers for probably the last 6-8 months. They were down to just a handful of items. One of them was a very hard to find light pole unit that they needed a lot of them for both structures because of the Buy America, the company that they were getting them from were out of stock because so many other federal projects that had Buy America clauses in them were also trying to get those same light poles. So those have come in, they've mounted those, and we expect that in the next several weeks to month we'll be accepting both of those structures. And then they'll continue to work on the Red River structure, which is over 90% finished, but they'll be, will probably be later this summer, early fall when we do the turnover for that. The PPA signing amendment signing ceremony. So excited to let you know that Mr. Adam Tell, the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, so kind of the senior civilian that the Corps of Engineers reports under, that works at the Pentagon, Right now, it appears he will be able to make our event on the 7th, so that's very exciting news. And I know a number of you will be available. I know a few of you are going to be out of town as well, but we're excited. May 7th at 2 p.m. is the ceremony here, so make sure to put that on your calendars. And we do expect Senator Hoeven will be here, and I'm still working with Senator Hoeven, Senator Klobuchar's office. Her staff had indicated she may be able to be in attendance. And then lastly, the crop damage issue. Mr. Ben Askegard was here last month and spoke about the challenges. The following week, we were able to meet with him. The Corps of Engineers was in town, so Colonel Chase, along with Terry Williams, myself, John Shockley, and Tom Fuchs from the Diversion Authority, and then a lawyer from AIS contracting, the contractor that's out there. We all met at Mr. Askegard's farmstead. Then we drove down and checked out the site where the work had been completed and the crop damage had occurred. AIS did submit an estimated number to Mr. Askegard as an offer. He wasn't satisfied with that, so he and the AIS are still counteroffering right now. We're hoping that he'll get another counteroffer back from AIS this week, and that we can move forward with getting this resolved sometime in the next few weeks to a month, so that by the time we're back here next month, that it's completely resolved. So that's the update on his situation. We're also working and continue to communicate with Matt Ness, he's another farmer that had some issues down there. We're working with the Corps, and Justin's been in communications with the Corps, and so that's stagnated a little bit. We're hoping to jumpstart that to get Mr. Ness. He also had a claim about half as much as Mr. Askegard, but still a substantial claim. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have on those issues.
Any questions?
And then if not, I do have one other item. I'm going to ask our Deputy Executive Director, Martin Nicholson, to talk on an exciting.
Thank you, Jason. Chair Mahoney, members of the board, appreciate taking just a couple of your minutes today for a much lighter topic than you normally have to deal with in your agenda. We all know the project is well known and is famous for a number of firsts. First P3 for the Corps, first water P3, split delivery, many of those. But you may not know that the project recently achieved, apparently, another first. That being a reference in a nationally streamed television show set in Minneapolis, Minnesota, called Doc. For those of you that have never seen it, I have a short clip, and with your permission, Chair Mahoney, I'd like to play that short clip for you.
Absolutely. It says Doc. That sounds like a good deal.
My forceps.
Section is fully exposed.
What do you see?
Distal to the left subclavian.
That's fortunate.
Excellent candidate for replacement with the Dacron graft. After cross clamp. Cross clamping now.
No!
I need to stop the blood flow so I can remove the dissection.
You cut off the blood flow even for a minute, you deprive the kidneys of oxygen that will destroy them.
What about ECMO? We only have one, and it's connected to another patient.
We need to do our very own Red River diversion.
What are you talking about?
Come on, TJ. Fargo and Moorhead divert the river to stop all the flooding.
You want me to reroute the blood flow from above the dissection to below?
I get the blood. You got a dry field. Win-win.
I like it. You done it before? Never. Come here, pour a on a needle driver.
This is going to be obviously trained by our mayor.
Yes. So, Chair Mahoney, I do have a question for you. As a surgeon, I commend you with your connections to Hollywood to get this reference. And have you ever made reference to the project in the operating room? If not, maybe you should.
I have to rethink my operating chatter now.
So with that, I won't take up any more of your time, but it certainly was an interesting little clip that was brought to attention by my wife, and I said, I don't watch that show, but I'll watch that. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Crop damage update, Jason, were you going to do that, or is John going to do that? You did it? Okay, I'm sorry. John, you're up. Project partnership agreement.
Well, it's hard to follow that up, but before the board, you have the project partnership agreement amendment number 2. This is the amendment whereby under the current project partnership agreement, the federal share, if there's any amounts that are unused, would be returned to the non-federal sponsors upon final project closeout. Final project closeout is envisioned to be 2029, 2030. This project PPA amendment number 2 will allow the non-federal sponsors to access those funds early. And so a lot of work has went into this over the last year and a half with the prior chair and the current chair and the Diversion Authority leadership team. There's no financial cost to the Diversion Authority. In fact, it results in funds coming back to the authority early. Finance Committee recommended approval of it yesterday. The City of Moorhead has already approved it. City of Moorhead and the City of Fargo are also the other 2 non-federal sponsors. City of Fargo is set to approve it on Monday night. So we'd be asking for the board's approval for PPA amendment number 2. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Second.
Any other discussion? Great work by everybody. Fantastic. I know, John, we talked about this early. Would we ever get the money back? And we're thinking 3032, so this is fantastic. So a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Breitling.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger.
Yes.
Ms. Kolpak.
Aye.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Capitan.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
And Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
Is everyone?
Item 2, resolution of policy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Before you, you have a resolution regarding maintaining executive session recordings. This is a housekeeping matter as the authority is moving towards operations and maintenance. There are a number of policies that you'll be seeing come before the board. This is really a housekeeping matter of how long you maintain recordings of executive sessions that you're required to maintain under the open records law. Happy to answer any questions. It really recites what's in current North Dakota law, but it would be appropriate to have a policy in place approved by the board.
So the minimum is 6 months is what you're saying, John?
Correct.
Basically, okay. Can I have a motion, please?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Breitling.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Ebinger.
Yes.
Ms. Kolpak.
Aye.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Capitan.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
And Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
That is everyone.
WIFIA loan update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This is just an update for the board. We have the last WIFIA draw we made was for $47.5 million. The total loan value is $569 million, so it leaves a little bit more than $500 million left to draw over the remaining part of the year. Because we are seeing a little bit truncated draw or pay requests from the developer, we haven't made a second draw. We anticipate making another draw probably the end of this month or the beginning of next month, depending upon if we get any additional pay requests in from the developer. Just for background, the interest rate on the loan is 2.08%. Happy to answer any questions, but just wanted to keep the board updated on where we're at with the WIFIA loan draws.
Thank you. Any questions? Next, subordinated sales tax bond update.
This is, as you probably heard in previous meetings, the authority is looking to issue approximately $220 million of short-term subordinated sales tax bonds. As we wrap up the end of the project, there is a cash flow issue when we get final federal funds, in addition to the $100 million that you're receiving. How much contingency remains unspent? We still have some lands projects to close out. We still have some mitigation projects to close out. And so the $220 million is an approximation of what we think it'll take to close out the project. That doesn't mean that will be your long-term borrowing, but that's just a short-term 3 to 6 year tranche of bonds. Once we have the project wrapped up, we'll do a final issuance of debt. And so we were originally envisioning that we would issue it this month, but due to some of the uncertainty in the world, interest rates have been up. And so given that we didn't necessarily need as much cash in our budget right now, we've been kind of flexing a little bit and waiting to issue that. We'll probably be back to the board to issue the bonds either next month in May or in June, trying to look to get the best interest rate possible, because even 20 or 30 basis points on that large of a bond issue is real money. So happy to answer any questions, but just wanted to give the board an update.
Any questions of the group? Thank you, John. Jason, you both are going to cover the resolution on the match 50/50 funds?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, so we've got a resolution. We talked about that, this resolution at our planning committee meeting earlier in the month, and then this was approved yesterday by the finance committee. Basically, the bottom of page 1, there's 2 main paragraphs. First, requesting authorization on a 50/50 match with this $100 million that we're receiving from the federal government, to authorize up to $32 million of that to be used as a 50/50 match for the $64 million needed for the remaining projects that we're requesting funding through the Minnesota legislature. And then number 2, authorizing me to work with the Minnesota legislature to in the bonding bill as I continue to spend time down in St. Paul to get the funding from the Minnesota legislature to support those projects in Minnesota.
And to be clear, this is the federal money we're going to utilize, not going to be North Dakota money.
Correct.
Just Minnesota partners, you think this will move the lever a little bit with our legislative people, Kelly, or?
I definitely think it will. I know that when we were having conversations about this policy, they said it would be a game changer.
So they like the idea that we'll match something that will make it cheaper in the long end? Yes, okay.
I think having these projects shovel-ready, part of a much larger project that is near completion, and then having a federal match, all of those definitely increase the odds that we're going to get some funding out of the legislature.
Thank you. Any questions? Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded again. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mayor Gardis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Breitling.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Emminger.
Yes.
Ms. Colback.
Aye.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Capitan.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
And Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
Is everyone?
Thank you very much, everybody involved with that. The core update, Terry Williams, you're online right now?
I sure am, Chair Mahoney and board members. I'm pleased to provide the Corps' update for the month of April. Federal construction will start ramping up in the next couple of weeks as things warm up and dry out, and our contractors are preparing for this last and final construction season. For the Red River structure, there's some activity going on. Structural crews have been doing some non-weather dependent work. And as Jason mentioned, light pole installation has been going on at the Wild Rice and the Red River structure with the new light pole configurations. I would also like to outline actions taken by our district with respect to the ongoing damage claims that are associated with our construction contracts since the last board meeting. As Jason stated, Colonel Chase and I attended the on-site meeting with the Askegaard family on 1 April, And we very much appreciated being able to do that, and the ASCII Guard hosting that meeting, hosting that meeting, and also going out to the large field that had been impacted. The district, we've also taken steps to hopefully prevent these types of issues from occurring again. This includes reminding our contractors of their contractual responsibilities to maintain adjacent field drainage, including regular touch points at their weekly progress meetings. And our USAID staff as well, our construction staff, are establishing lines of communication with adjacent producers. And then with respect to the pending PPA amendment, preparations are ramping up to prepare for that ceremony and the likely attendance by Assistant Secretary Tell. It's going to be a very great and exciting day. That ends my update unless there's any questions.
Yeah, the only bad thing about that is I have Commissioner Commissioner Grinberg and Shelley Carlson aren't coming to that event. Oh, you are now? Okay, good. Well, they told me you wouldn't make it because you're so busy. Very good. Any questions of Terry? I want to thank the Corps for working with the ASCII Guards on that particular issue, and I think you also discussed going in the future what they need to do with this year's construction item. So I'm very pleased that that was done. Ben Askegaard is going to be speaking later today, Terry, so if you can stay on the line, I appreciate that.
Will do, sir.
Thank you. Chris, give our updates?
Yeah, thank you, Chair Mahoney and members of the board. Quick update on construction here too. As Terry mentioned, our work is ramping back up. Obviously, we've been working through the winter, but at a slightly reduced pace. Maybe Paul, yeah, I guess, we're good here. One of the things that good progress this last month is we were able to open up what we're labeling reaches 4 and 5. That essentially is in the area of County Road 22 between County Road 32 and County Road 20. We removed the last bypass up on that north end at County Road 22, so now we've got the channel connected from basically the Prosper Bridge area, the County Road 20 area, all the way up to the outlet. That includes the Lower Rush River Inlet, the Rush River Inlet, and then a couple other smaller drain inlets as well. One other milestone we reached this month. We didn't quite get it on the drone update, so you'll likely see more of that in coming months. Is we did have a lot of great cooperation, a lot of hard work between RRVA, ASN, the authority staff, and the resource agencies to get the Maple River connected through the aqueduct. That literally happened over the weekend and was completed late Saturday, and they've been monitoring that, and they're in the process now of removing the fish from the existing natural channel. And with that, then they would also be able to continue excavating upstream. That would get us then the ability to excavate up to the Cheyenne River, which will be planned to be cut over sometime in June, mid to late June this year. So another good milestone. Unfortunately, it happened kind of in the timing that we weren't able to throw it on the drone video for you this month. But if anybody wants to see that, just let one of us know, and we can certainly buzz you out there. And anticipating we'll have more of that next month. And then on bridges, again, kind of a boring slide today, but just wanted to give you a highlight. And nothing changed here, but did want to, in the upcoming weeks, they've basically been waiting on doing road work. So we're hearing they're anticipating having paving crews available sometime here in the beginning of May. So hopefully we'll start seeing activities to where we'll start wrapping up the final few bridges as well. So lots of things coming, but those are the two main highlights I wanted to cover today on the construction. Any questions on the construction update? I can step into safety if not.
Any questions? Nope.
All right, pretty quiet month safety-wise, which is good news again. The two recordables were very minor first aid type injuries that they did go in and have checked out, so they did hit the recordable level, but nothing of significance. One thing that we've been tracking, the near miss one, we have seen an uptick in that, so I know there's been a lot of conversations during our meetings and communicating with their field staff. as things ramp up, we got a lot of work going on, lots of crews working out on site again, lots of overlapping construction, and also as Terry mentioned, the push to get everything done this fall. We're seeing ASN reminding their teams to make sure that they're also watching out for the safety side of things as things are getting busy and very much sprinting towards the finish line here. So that's the safety update. If there are any questions there.
Any questions? Nope.
All right, on the P3 update, we wanted to highlight an item that we don't talk about a lot, but there is a lot of activity that happens, and usually it's behind the scenes, which is all good news because we don't really want to be on the news headlines with environmental related items. But just want to highlight a few of the environmental things that we are tracking under that environmental compliance. There were several conditions, M, P, and S, and we can talk through the details of that if any of you want offline, but in our core 404 permit, there were several conditions that we needed to meet through the design process and construction process that weren't spelled out completely in the original permit, things that needed to be reviewed. Those have all now been accepted on all of the rivers, so we've gotten through those hurdles, which again has allowed us to connect the Maple River, which will allow us to connect the Cheyenne River here this summer. So that was a good step. Again, heading into planting season, but sitting here today, we've got about a fourth of the trees planted, and then we've got about 2,000 acres of permanent seeding. There's many more acres of temporary seeding that's out there. Again, hearing that they're ramping up and planning to start that permanent seeding effort here shortly. Maybe a couple other quick highlights in here. We do have some permitting required yet on the Cheyenne River. We do have a sovereign lands permit we need from the state of North Dakota to do the final cutover of the Cheyenne River here in June. So we've got drafts of that permit being reviewed and planning to submit that here in the next couple of weeks to state of North Dakota for their final review. And then on the mussel salvage, they've been working on the Maple River. They recovered about 127 fish when they closed the Maple River off. So again, they just transport those back into the natural river, and they also then do a sweep to make sure there aren't any mussels that have burrowed into the ground. So that's one of those behind the scenes environmental things that just happens and gets taken care of, which is great news. We'll have that similar exercise here this summer as we step into cutting the Cheyenne River over through into the aqueduct as well. So that's our update on the P3 this month. I can stand for any questions, otherwise we can step into the drone video.
Any questions? Thank you.
Not quite as exciting as being on the national TV scene, but we'll let you listen to Tom for a minute here.
Crossings opened to traffic last month, which means bypass removals and channel plug excavation took place this month. I'm Tom Fuchs, Senior Construction Manager for the Metro Flood Diversion Authority, with this month's construction update. At the County Road 22 bridge, ASN constructors placed riprap and excavated the stormwater diversion channel's low-flow channel where County Road 22 bypass lanes once were. Excavation in this area establishes a functional connection in terms of drainage amongst reaches 4 and 5 of the channel, as well as the lower Rush River inlet nearby. This means rainfall or runoff events for connected watersheds will now pass into and down the diversion channel to its outlet at the Red River. Work continues in the vicinity as crews excavate the remainder of the channel, construct the remaining levee embankment, and complete final grading. Likewise, west of town at the BNSF KO crossing, where train traffic was shifted onto the new bridge last month in both directions, the shoe fly rails are now removed and crews are removing ballast and sub-ballast along the shoe fly alignment. At the Cheyenne River Aqueduct, one of the project's 2 structures that will route rivers over the channel, ASN constructors continued concrete work at the spillway, flume, and the structure's wing walls. At the downstream end of the flume, we can now see the cast-in-place concrete bypass conduits are constructed and extend through the wing walls. This is where bypass flows will return to the engineered channel when the bypass conduits are engaged if needed for future maintenance activity inside the flume. The last remaining H-piles and sheet piles are now installed for wing walls both upstream and downstream of the flume. As formwork, rebar, and concrete work wrap up, wing wall backfill has commenced. Over at the spillway, crews have constructed concrete baffle blocks atop the spillway base, and concrete facing is underway at the spillway's side walls. Work progresses on the Authority Administration Building as well, which will house the MFDA and provide line of sight for project operations. Inside, crews have continued to work on the mechanical and electrical rough-ins with drywall installation, taping, mudding, and finishing following closely behind. We can see the first painting has begun as the building's interior takes shape. On the exterior, crews continued placing metal wall panels and siding at both the main building and the maintenance building nearby. To see more project updates and meet the people behind the project's work, subscribe to the Diversion Current.
Nicely done. Amy, what's up?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the board. We sent a construction update release again last month, and we got some really nice local and national coverage that you'll see in the board bulletin here later today. We also shared releases from RRVA on the BNSF KO opening and some temporary road closures that will be taking place on I-29 and I-94 as some work wraps up in that area. For the newsletter last month, we focused on material excavation and again had a really nice open and click-through rate. You'll see the next issue tomorrow, which focuses on in-town work, specifically with the city of Fargo. And then for outreach this past month, Jason presented to a senior group in Horace. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you. Justin?
Thank you, Chairman and board members. Today I want to give a quick update on the land status. Since last time I reported, we had another successful month in closing parcels, 6 of which parcels last month amongst 2 owners in that UMA. We have not had any new trials, and we continue really negotiating those settlements since that first trial piece. Currently, we have 10 pending settlement offers with property owners. In addition, we do have closings for many parcels and owners right now. Currently 2 parcels in Minnesota amongst 1 owner, and then 20 amongst 11 owners in North Dakota. That equates to right now, in terms of acquired easements, we are close to 21,500 acres. And we are getting closer and closer to closing on more, but by next month we will see that number remove as well. Additionally, on the land side of things, though, we are working on that post-operation cleanup and restoration program. We have that subcommittee now developed with the goal of getting that group together to start discussing those efforts in the June time frame. Additionally, we are working on the crop loss program as required as well. And as always, we like to give the visual depiction of where things are at in terms of the flowage easements. Green areas are easements that have been acquired. Blue are negotiations, and the red are areas that are still in eminent domain. On the left side is the entire project, and on the right side is that upstream mitigation area. As I mentioned, we made progress since the last time we met. In terms of the construction footprint, there's no change, but the UMA, we saw additional 1% gain with those flowage easements since last time. And breaking it down a little bit further, as you can see, no change in the southern embankment or in environmental monitoring, all within that upstream mitigation area. And then the other part that we'd like to do is break this down by the footprint and construction footprint in UMA, both by the owner groups as well as the parcels. And you can see from the depictions, once again, construction as well as footprint for the UMA, those numbers are pretty consistent, but it gives a breakdown of those settlements achieved as they pertain to the owner groups and the parcel numbers themselves. And then lastly, we always like to give credit where credit's due. We have a great lands team that continue those efforts, especially with the land agents and those pieces that they provide, relocation advisory, help with those negotiation, mediation pieces, and overall getting us through various aspects that are needed for walk-in assistance, rent payments, etc. So with that, I'm more than happy to take any questions.
Any questions of Justin? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Dardis, what do you got to tell us?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance Committee met yesterday. If you look at your agenda, contracting actions, items number 4C, 1 through 5 were acted on and approved. The General Counsel updated what Mr. Shockley brought forward on item number 6, C, D, and E were all acted on. The approval of the bills was presented by Susan Thompson, Finance Director of City of Fargo. $3,181,534.36. Our net cash position is at $257,465,863. One of interesting, and Mr. Steen pointed this out yesterday in the finance meeting, our cash budget for 2026 is $1,016,893,808. But as of mid-April, we have only expended $73,408,214. And in discussions with staff, those numbers are expected to go much, much higher in the next 3 months. There were some items that did not close in December and will be closing in the first quarter. So to Mr. Grinberg's point that he made in the Finance Committee, I think 2 months ago, where we're going to spend millions and millions of dollars a day, we're running a little bit behind that, but we fully anticipate that it's going to be a heavy ask coming up very soon. With that, I'd stand for any questions.
Any questions of Mayor Dardis? Thank you for that report.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move for the finance approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote?
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Breitling.
Yes.
Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Eppinger.
Yes.
Ms. Kolpak.
Aye.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Capitan.
Aye.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
And Ms. Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you. Public comment, we have one speaker. Ben Askegaard is here.
Good afternoon. Thanks for letting me be here. I'm just going to give you a little update on what's going on with our crop claim. We're kind of in negotiations, which I'm not a fan of, but it is what it is. We met April 1st at our shop. Jason Benson, John Shockley, Tom Fuchs, Colonel Chase, and Terry Williams, and then Angela Cooner were all at our shop in Comstock, Minnesota. Thought the meeting went really well. There was feels like to me there's a lot of pointing fingers at the contractor not knowing that those ditches were supposed to be left open during construction. Terry Williams and Angela went back and forth a little bit on that. So I was really confused on that whole deal. It seems like a lot of common sense to me to keep the field drains open myself. After that meeting, we had a lot of good conversation. We talked about communication. I don't care if it's a phone call. I prefer phone calls. But the biggest thing is I'm standing here. Nothing's resolved. $72,000, just under $72,000. This project is bigger than what I am, but I am a 43-year-old farmer, City of Fargo resident, landowner in Clay County. I told this to Shelley the last time I was here. I said, I might not believe in this project, but I have to work with you people. As humans, we have to be able to work with each other. I'm not a fan of chasing emails back and forth. That's what it seems like everybody wants to do. I just open and honest communication with us landowners down in Southern Valley. I mean, Wilton County, Clay County, doesn't matter, Richland County. I farm in 4 counties, Cass, Richland, Wilkin, and Clay. I know pretty much every farmer in that whole area. We're all really close people. All we want is open and honest communication. I still haven't heard back from what roads are going to be closed this summer. Nobody's contacted us to tell us what roads are going to be closed. Guess what? Planting's already started. I just left the field. We live in the country. I live in Fargo, but I commute every day. Not many people like to drive south. Not many people like to get out of the city limits. All I ask is drive around and observe what's going on. Pull into a guy's yard. We welcome everybody in our yard. I told everybody at that meeting, all are welcome. So from that meeting, we went down to SE5 where the construction was. Just kind of went through everything, had the video. Colonel Chase was there. He wanted to see where everything was at. Everybody agreed that the ditches were blocked. But now who's at fault? I lost yield. I lost dollars. I know, Dardis, you weren't very happy with this my last comments. As a 43-year-old farmer, I have 2 jobs. If I didn't have my second job, I wouldn't be farming right now. CEFIS would have been called. That's how tight these margins are in agriculture. I am a sugar beet farmer. We're looking at Mindak down here. If we have another bad year, those doors are closed. That's 100,000 acres of sugar beets that aren't going to be in this valley. There's 400,000, just under 400,000 in American Crystal. That is an economic engine for Fargo-Moorhead. Ag is an economic engine for Fargo-Moorhead. All I ask is that you come to us as farmers. We know the land better than you guys. I don't care if you're an engineer, I don't care. I know which way water flows. I know elevation, grade, and slope. I have all the stuff. I have more experience in a guy that's 1.5 miles north of our farm that knows a lot of which way, what happened back in the 30s, all that stuff. All we need is some communication with us. I know I haven't been solved. My claim hasn't been solved. My neighbor Matt Nest hasn't been solved. He's been ghosted, it seems like. I talk to him daily. This is unacceptable. We're people out here trying to make a living. So all I ask is something's got to move. Somebody's got to make it. Somebody's got to do something. I don't care. Terry Williams might be listening right now. I texted with her this morning. I don't know what else I got to do. Does anybody have any ideas? I haven't gone to the news yet. I haven't reached out to the governor. But if I have to go there, I will. I'm pretty well connected in this community. I don't want to air my dirty laundry out there, but it's coming to the point where I just need to be treated right. So, no, my claim has not been paid. So, anybody have any questions?
So, Ben, I did reach out to the attorney yesterday and asked, I know an offer has been made. I don't know if you've done a counter offer, but requested to resolve this by the end of this week. I was told by the attorney in an email, of course, nobody wants to call you, is that they would give you something today or tomorrow. I'd asked it before this meeting. Obviously, that didn't happen. We'll continue, Jason, myself, Justin, to put pressure on them, and thank you for speaking today, because the board is very frustrated with this as well, and we're very upset, too, if NES hasn't been addressed. Both those things have to address. You know, we tried to explain to them, you're in planning, you don't have time for this. This is time to you do your work. So we will continue to do that. Board is firmly behind you on this. And Terry, I think you're online too. Anything you can do to move the needle, I think, is reasonable for this to be claims to be done. So we're right on board, and Bernie Dardis has a great relationship with the governor. If anything needs to be pressured that way, he's happy to do it. So but we will continue to push.
So I got an email last Friday. She was wondering what my thought was on her counter offer, and I said, this is what I want. And then she emailed me on Monday saying, working on it, but just letting you know that I haven't forgot about you. So it'll be a week on Friday. But she has to answer to her, what did she say? She has to answer to her board or whatever. And I'm like, well,
I included the chairman on my email, so my anticipation is that both those people are watching what's going on.
okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Shelley? Mayor Carlson?
Thank you, Chair Mahoney. And the question actually isn't for you, Mr. Essick. Well, it might be kind of for you. You talked about communications, and I know we were just at the Moorhead-Clay County Joint Powers Association board meeting prior to this, and discovered there was maybe a little bit of a communication gap on another issue. What is the best way, or I guess maybe two questions. First, how have we been communicating road closures? And secondly, what is the mechanism of communication that you would foresee being the best way to communicate upcoming road closures and everything? I don't know who would want to go first.
We talked about that at the meeting when we went and do the site visit. All I told them is I said, get a hold of Justin at Clay County. Talk to the township board. These are people that are in charge of these roads if there's a washout. But Justin's, he answers his phone. I know that. I answer my phone. Everybody knows, my phone number is out on every email that I send out. But that's the best way to communicate. Go to say Comstock, there's a community center, the mayor's at Comstock, the elevator in Comstock, everybody goes to the elevator or the agronomy center in Comstock. Doesn't matter. Those are the local engines for Comstock or Holy Cross Township or whatever.
So I'm just wanting to develop a better understanding. Are you suggesting that emails get sent out or flyers get posted, or how do you normally get a road closure notice from, say, Clay County?
Chris, I think you were pointing out to a court one time what we're going to have to close. You're aware of every road that they're supposed to do that. And Jason, do we have, he's suggesting even voice communication to go down and talking to people. Justin, is somebody going out there and telling the farmers what we're going to do?
Mr. Chair, board members, so at the meeting where we were out in the field, the Corps acknowledged that as Mr. Asgard brought up in that meeting, there's really only a handful of producers that are the key people that they need to coordinate with. I know the Corps of Engineers is working on updating some of their processes, and they've got one of their staff that works out of the office here in Fargo that they basically assigned to handle a lot of these issues. So that way that person is going to be kind of the first line of communications. I don't have all the details. I'm not sure. Terry, if you're out there.
Terry, are you online? Do you know who is assigned to this particular task?
Yeah, Chair Mahoney, Mayor Carlson, Jason. We are absolutely working on nailing down, especially the closure of Highway 75. And it's highly dependent on the SC5 contractor getting that schedule nailed down. We've talked amongst ourselves and including with Justin a couple days ago about reconvening on about the first week in May to see if we can nail down that date. But in the past, and we will continue doing this, we are publishing a weekly road tracker that displays all of the road closures and detours, the schedule for all of them along the southern embankment. Of course, those can be weather dependent and can move, but we do that on a weekly basis, and we'll start doing that again now that our contractors are starting work again. And we also talked about posting that tracker. Both Cass and Clay County do a great job of displaying road closures on their websites. And we've talked about actually posting it as well on fmdiversion.gov. We talked about deciding when we would meet with that small producer group, but we want to have more data on the Highway 75 closures. So, Ben, I hear you. I agree. We don't have a lot of fidelity on Highway 75, and that closure is going to be important to so many folks. Over.
Carlson.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. When you say you're publishing it, where are you publishing it at, and where is it being shared?
What happens is that road tracker information, Cass County has taken that information and posted it on their highway website. And Clay County has been doing that as well. And we've also been posting it, I understand we've been posting it at the co-op that's down by Comstock. And then the next big step is to get that small group meeting with producers like Ben. Over.
Kevin Campbell.
Thank you. I know Justin has tried to work an awful lot with different communities. I know when we were doing that road project through Comstock, for example, there was a lot of concern from the ag producers about the timing of that road. And so we were able to work around that timing on that project. It's disappointing to hear that there seems to be a lack of communication regarding the projects there. And what I'm even more concerned about on top of this is the fact that Clay County has a couple of other significant road projects that we're doing in southern Clay County this spring. And that's going to compound the problems for some of our producers that are in that area. So I think it's got to be critical, Jason, that I'm not going to say we haven't done a good job, but if we need to do a better job in making sure that these producers know when they can expect a road to be closed and when they can expect it to be open, and we need to figure out a way to correspond with them in a way that they get that message. Like you said, there's just you mentioned that there's probably a handful of producers. Mm-hmm. So it's not, but it does go further than that because we do have some people, other ag producers that still use those roads that go miles. So I'm disappointed to hear what I'm hearing today, but.
There's a difference between what happened last summer in the coordination between the Comstock Road. Mm-hmm. That contractor was Celine out of Hawley. They know what's going on. They know how to communicate with us. AISI is out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. These people do not know our surroundings. They don't know. I mean, at the last meeting, I was like, the guy stopped me and was wondering when I was spraying. Was wondering what the chemicals I was spraying were going to hurt him. I mean, honest question, but I told the guy I don't have that kind of money because I'm target spraying is all I'm doing. That's the disconnect here. I mean, I've heard nothing but good about Zabarol. I deal with customers over on the North Dakota side. I wish they would have had the whole contract. I don't know where PWS is out of, but I know AISI is out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. They're not local. That money's gone.
So Jason, can we have the team go in person and visit with the people at the elevator and other people in Comstock, the 5 or 6 producers that are going, and improve the communication with the Corps? So Ben doesn't have to come and ask for this, but can we do that sometime in the next 2 weeks?
Absolutely, Mayor. I think we'll move ahead. As Terry mentioned, there's still, as the spring between, weather and when the contractors are coming on board to start projects, they're still identifying exactly when some of these road closures are going to happen. But to get out ahead of the road closures, so that way, again, the producers aren't just showing up and finding out that they're going to get closed, in 2 days or a week.
Mayor Carlson?
Actually, Commissioner Campbell.
Can I just add one more thing? And Jason, one of the projects that I'm talking about is on CSAH 12 and 52 in Clay County. It's a road that's going to need to be closed. We're putting in a wonderful roundabout there.
Mm-hmm.
And changing that whole direction of that angled road. That is going to be part of the complication with that whole area in that southern part. But what I want to bring up is we are having an open house on that project on Monday night, April 27th at 5:30. And it might be worthwhile if you could have somebody from your area there, because I think a lot of these producers might be there.
Where's it at?
It's going to be at the Clay County Highway Department.
Oh, okay.
So it might be worthwhile to have somebody there that could maybe talk about not only, so Jason will be talking about that road closure and what's going on there, but then maybe we could have somebody that could help fill in some of these questions on some of these other diversion project road closures that are coming up. And that'll be a good way to get that word out to a lot of people. So.
Very good.
The biggest thing with this equipment is the tractors are $250,000. The tillage tool behind it is another $100,000. You can't turn them around. And you get on a soft road, it will wreck a jack shaft. We wrecked one last year. It was $5,000. Everything adds up. So that is the biggest thing, that just communicate whatever we need to do. I would start at, how would you communicate this to a grandparent? What roads are going to be closed? Like my dad, he is not an emailer. Phone guy, text message. So you got to figure out how to communicate to those people. It's got to be multiple angles. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah, we can have Amy get involved with this as well. Thank you. Anything else you want to close up, Mayor Carlson?
Yes, thank you, Chair Mahoney. Just something quick, and this is maybe more for Ms. Williams. Since AISI is a contract with the U.S. Army Corps, I would hope and encourage that the Corps would be requiring this contractor to have somebody here. This is our last year of construction. Requiring somebody to be here, working with our county engineer, working with our communications team at the diversion, and really being more hands-on and present here in our last year of construction with all these different road closures that's going to be happening, compounded with the road closures that the county itself is going to be doing. I don't understand with this level of a contract why they don't have somebody here, and I would hope that the Corps would be requiring that and making sure that that happens.
Carrie, do you want to respond to that at all?
Yeah, Mayor Carlson, we sure can do that. Over.
Then staff will talk to you off the side now, if that's okay, and try to work with you on this particular issue. We're very much in empathy for us to get this done, and we'll push everywhere possible to get it done. Any other business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.